Okay.
All righty, welcome everybody. This is the last Base Camp Story Talk out of our series. Wood County Park District and Way Library have partnered up for this, and I think it's a great partnership because all of the speakers in our Base Camp Stories series, they all have a story to tell. That's what the library is all about, right? So all of the stories that we have as presenters as a part of Base Camp Stories, no matter where they go, no matter what their expertise in the outdoors is in, they all call Northwest Ohio their home. They all start from our home too, here in Northwest Ohio, their base camp, you could say, is Northwest Ohio. So today's last but certainly not least presenter is Kurt Stuckey. He has been a long-time outdoors enthusiast. I don't want to steal too much thunder from him, but I've had the pleasure of working with him in a volunteer capacity. He volunteers with parks, specifically for our paddling program. So I know he's got a heart for adventure. Of course, getting to know him through the years of volunteering with me, we hit it off over national parks. And Kurt has been to quite a number of them. He's not going to tell you about all of them today, but he is going to tell you about one of them, that's Big Bend. So could you please help me in welcoming Kurt Stuckey.
Thank you. Thank you. Basically what I'm thinking about doing is just kind of giving you my road trip from the start to almost the end. As you can see, I'm from Waseon. I started in Waseon, and basically I drove through to Murfreesboro, Arkansas, which is a pretty good drive in one day. It's like 800 miles. The reason I went there is there's a state park there called Crater of Diamonds. And it's one of the areas, it's like the only area in the United States where you can actually collect diamonds. And it's an old like volcanic cone or whatever. You can't tell it, I mean, it's been so old, you don't see any like caldera or anything. But yeah, you can go there, whatever you find, you can keep. You know, I was looking for my retirement diamond, but didn't find it. From there, I went to Alpine, Texas, which is as closest to, it's the only really town near Big Bend. It's just a small little burg, 6,000, 7,000 people. But it's got a university there, and as a result of that, there's like a lot of places to stay, which is good. And then from there, this is the road between Alpine and, well, one section of the road between Alpine and Big Bend. I just kind of really liked the way that looked, and so I needed to get a picture of that. And then we're at Big Bend. Just some background information on Big Bend. I want to go back here. How many of you have driven to, I know you've been to Big Bend, and you were there. How far did you drive? Did you drive, when you got there, how did you get there?
Rent a car.
Rented a car, and from?
Some airport down there.
Okay, yeah, the only airport is, it's about right in, commercial airports, like right about in here somewhere, Midland, Odessa. But coming down this way, it was really interesting. This is all in the Chihuahuan Desert, and so, which extends from northern part of Mexico into Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. And I was driving along, and from here to the back wall or so, probably farther, I would see these little things running across the road. I thought, well, what is that, you know? It didn't look like a rodent or anything, and they kept going. Finally, I got close enough to one from maybe here to where Craig is. realized it was tarantulas. I mean, I was just amazed because you could see it 50 yards down, running across the road, you know, so how big these things must be. So, but anyway, going, yeah, back to here and to Big Bend. I just kind of want to give you some background history and information on Big Bend before we get started. As far as indigenous people have been frequenting and living in Big Bend for approximately 10,000 years, which I was really surprised when I heard that information. A white man, the Spanish explorers first arrived in the area about mid-1600s, looking for their gold and silver. First real commercial enterprises, basically, ranching, started in the mid-1800s. And later in the 1800s, they discovered mercury. And so there was a big mercury mining facility where the park is now today. They aren't mining anymore, but they did for quite a while. The park itself, the area of the park was set aside and it became a state park in Texas in 1933. Texas deeded it to the United States in 1944, and that's when Big Bend National Park was established. So, as far as geology of the area, it's a mixed. The whole area is just so diverse. You wouldn't think it's in the middle of the desert. You wouldn't think there was much diversity there, but I mean, as far as the geology, it was at one time. I'm familiar with. I don't know how many eons ago it was, but that whole central area was like the great inland sea. And so there's, you got the limestone deposit and sandstone and that type of stuff. Then there's also the volcanic activity there, and we'll see some of that in some of the photos coming up. So geologically, it's quite diverse. Ecosystems, three primary ecosystems. First one is desert, and you just have a lot of desert scrub lands. Then in the Chisos Mountains, you have pine and spruce forests. And then along the Rio Grande, you have the riparian corridors. So you got three primary ecosystems within the park. Also, as far as flora and fauna, there's approximately 1,200 species of plants and trees in the park, 3,600 species of insects, oh boy, 450 species of birds, and 75 species of mammals. So, I mean, it's really, like I said, very, very diverse ecosystem. And when you look at the ecosystems themselves, obviously you're going to have different insects, different species, different mammals, depending on what ecosystem you're in, whether it's the short scrub, or if it's a riparian, or if it's in the Chisos Mountains. And I always like to take pictures of wildflowers. So this was, when I was there, it was in October, so this is, I don't know what all the flowers are like during the rest of the year, but I just have a few here that I took. This is called a skyrocket, I think. That is a desert marigold, prickly pear cactus, just kind of an offshoot. How many of you know that there are prickly pear cactuses indigenous to Northwest Ohio? Yeah. I've got some growing in my yard. Some more prickly pear and a barrel type of cactus. I think that is, I'm not sure what that is. That is agave for all you tequila fans out there. Ocotillo, and I mean, you look at that and you think, wow, what a great place to build your nest, you know? And yucca. Yucca is such a diverse plant. I mean, it's growing like this in the desert, and the hot and dry, and I've got it growing in my yard too, you know, in the cold and winter, and so, I mean, it's amazing how versatile that plant is. This is the Chisos Mountains. They're like right in the middle of the park, and it's the only mountain range that's completely within a national park. I mean, obviously it's not a really big range, but, and let's see if I can get, this is in the back farther. That is the highest elevation of the park. That's Emery Peak at 7,825 feet. And this one over here is Lost Mine Peak at 7,750. The base elevation in the park itself is about 1,800 feet. So this is the Chisos Basin. This is where you get into the pine spruce forests. And this is, I'll go back here. I don't think, can't see it. Yeah, you'll see it here. The first hike I did was the Lost Mine Trail. And these are some pictures from Lost Mine Trail, which is, it's basically right in the middle of Chisos Basin, and you come out of the basin up to the top. Just kind of give you, when I look at that, it kind of gives me a little vertigo. So, yeah, I was sitting there just kind of enjoying the solitude when I was sitting there, and I heard these people coming, and it's like this one guy just would not stop talking about movies, about TV shows, and I'm thinking, why are you even here? I mean, you're not even enjoying what's going on around you. And so yeah, this is Lost Mine Trail. Oh, I went too far. Okay. And back up here, that's the visitor center in Chico's Basin. There's a campground there and a lodge. It's the only lodge in the park itself. And the actual trailhead for the trail I was on, Lost Mine, starts right, you can see the road there. Starts about right in there somewhere. And and I guess this was my first hike in the park, and you know, it's the first day of hiking in my vacation. And I get a blister on my foot, you know, it's like, but I carried on, I went ahead and did what I was going to do. And this is another, it's called the Balanced Rock Trail, or Balance, yeah. And just some interesting rock formations. I can't really tell if this is like sedimentary or if it's some type of metamorphic or igneous. There's Balanced Rock.
We saw a rattlesnake on that trail when we did it.
And this was just some really interesting, this looks like more like a metamorphic type of rock to me, but I don't know. I wouldn't call myself a geologist by any means.
Interesting.
And again, some more. There's the Rio Grande. The thing that really surprised me about the Rio Grande was that it wasn't very grand. That part of the, you know, I mean, right here, the Rio Grande starts in the lower part of Colorado, and it's the fourth longest river in the United States. Fourth longest river in North America, too, I believe. About 1,800 miles long. And I'm figuring in where this is, in Big Bend, it's probably about 1,000 miles from the headwaters. And it's just, like I said, it's smaller than the Maumee, you know?
What's the pollution status of that right now?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
I know they were having lots of problems with it. But
Well, yeah. I mean, you got all that comes down through New Mexico and the city, Albuquerque and El Paso and all that area, and so. But yeah, I mean, just kind of as a reference, the Maumee River is, 137 miles long from Fort Wayne to Lake Erie. And a drainage area of 8,300 square miles. Like I said, the Rio Grande itself is almost 1,900 miles long, and a drainage area of 336,000 square miles. And so, like I said, I was just so flabbergasted at how small it looked when I got there. But it's partly because, you know, it runs basically through the whole desert. I mean, the Chihuahuan Desert goes into New Mexico, almost up to Colorado. So it's basically running through the desert most of its length. And so, which would explain why it's not that big of a river at this point.
Is this picture still within the park, or are we on the border?
Oh, this is, the left side is Mexico. The right side is United States. This is Boquilla Canyon, and unfortunately, there's a trail that runs back into it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it at that time. It's one of the starting off points, I think, for like a lot of backpacking trails. And again, on the right side there is Mexico, and the left side is United States. That's just a shot. This is on the east side, east of the Chicos Mountains, looking towards. The Chicos Mountains are kind of to the right there. And it's just, I liked it, and so I took the picture. Stop me anytime you have a question, okay? This is some volcanic formations. They're called volcanic chimneys. And it was the Volcanic Chimneys Trail, which is a fairly easy trail to go along. But at the far end of the chimneys, there's a indigenous settlement that was approximately 2,000 to 3,000 years ago that the petroglyphs were made. And you can see some of the grinding millstones. That's just a morning shot. We have many photographers in here? You know, the morning is the best time to take pictures. The light is so soft, and it just really brings out the color and things. And so that is Santa Elena Canyon. On the left side is Mexico, on the right side is the United States. You can't really see it on here, but the Terlingua Creek enters the Rio Grande about here, and the trailhead, I think you can kind of see it about here. Looks like there's a trail here. You can actually hike back into the canyon a little ways. But again, you have to ford Terlingua Creek to get there. And again, unfortunately, it was fairly deep at the time, and I really didn't know how deep it was and how fast it was running, so I didn't want to risk going, because I was by myself too. If I had somebody with me, I probably would have thought about it, but it's supposed to be just absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous hike in that trail.
Yeah, if you ever do have a chance to go there, also look into taking the raft trip through that canyon. You can overnight camp right at the top of the canyon, and then the walls go up like 1,500 feet
Yep.
sometimes, and there's only one place, there's only one rock slide in there where there's any rapids, and you go with a guide, but the rest of it is just pretty easy floating, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And you said you're a birder. The canyon wrens echoing through that canyon are just stunning. They hear them too. It's cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Mule ears.
Little volcanic activity. Those are called the mule's ears. The remnants of like volcanic cores. And this is a trail. It's called Mule's Ears Springs Trail. And you can see kind of, I'm getting close to the springs here. And there's the springs. And it's just like, again, I was kind of shocked. I'm walking into this. I mean, this area isn't really all that big, but it's like, wow. Cattails in the middle of the desert, you know? It was just like really, really cool. So,
What time of the year were you there?
October.
Into November? Or?
No, it's just about mid-October. And it was perfect time to be there, too. I mean, it was cool enough that, you didn't get the heat like you would in the summer. And, cool at night. But even during the day, it was very comfortable to hike. Again, part of the whole volcanic activity of the park is rendered. I mean, you get a lot of crystals forming in lava and volcanic areas. And this was along the Mule's Ears Trail also. And that's just kind of a morning shot. Again, with the again, you can kind of see perspective-wise how small the Rio Grande looks. I mean, the Maamee's bigger than that, So. And that's really pretty much as far as Big Bend that I have. When I went from there, I went west out of the park into, this is Big Bend Ranch State Park, which is located, abuts Big Bend to the west. And there's just a couple trails here that
What kind of wildlife did you see?
I really didn't see anything.
Really?
No, I mean, I saw a lot of flowers, but I really didn't see any wildlife.
Didn't see any javelina or anything?
Huh? No.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I wish I would have, but yeah, I didn't see any wildlife. I don't know if it was time of year or what, but that's Mexico basically there. That's probably one of my favorite pictures right there. And this is Big Bend Ranch State Park. And you can see the
Is that still in Texas?
yeah, I'm on the Texas side. This is the Mexico side here. You can kind of see where the river runs through here. So, but that again kind of just shows you the difference between the scrub and the Chicos and the riparian. You know, this is more of the riparian where you get a lot more, you have more of the moisture and it's a lot greener and
How's the night sky?
wonderful. You know, absolutely wonderful. It's just, you know, it's dark sky area, or yeah, you know, there's no ambient lighting around there at all, and so, and unfortunately, I'm not very good at taking night photos, or I would have tried to take some of those. I didn't have the equipment to do that, to kind of track the movement of the Earth with the.
How many days were you in the national park?
Pardon?
How many days were you in the national park?
I was here in Big Bend probably 3 or 4 days. I said it was part of a trip that I was taking. My ultimate goal was to go to Guadalupe Mountains National Park, which I got a couple pictures of that coming up. I went down there. I've always wanted to go to Big Bend, and I signed up for a Sierra Club service vacation in Guadalupe, and I thought, wow, it's a perfect time to go to Big Bend. So yeah, if I would have just gone to Big Bend, I probably would have spent more time, but I was headed for Guadalupe National Park, and it sits on the border between Texas and New Mexico. How many are you familiar? Anybody hear of a place called Marfa, Texas? It's this little, really small little town, kind of northwest of. It's north of. What is it? I can't think of that. I want to say Presidio, but that's not right. Anyway, Marfa was a artist from New York, discovered Marfa in like the 1970s and built this big studio there, and I mean it was really a hot place for people to go at one time, and you know, because of the Marfa. And there's also what they call the Marfa lights, which are these strange lights you see at night, and you know, maybe on the horizon they kind of float and that type of stuff. Nobody could really figure out what it was. Finally, they studied it, and they figured it was car lights. But due to the heat and on the desert, it bent the light so it looked like they were floating. And so those are the Marfa lights.
When you're camping, you have to be careful of scorpions, tarantulas, rattlesnakes.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have to be, even when you're hiking.
What precautions do you take?
Usually, if you're in an area that is fairly well populated, you don't really have to worry about that so much. And so I really didn't take any special precautions. But like I said, if you're in a campground where there's more people around, you generally don't have, because they don't like to be around people either. So Yeah.
I camped there a lot and never had any trouble with rattlesnakes, but we always had to check our boots for scorpions in the morning.
Yeah.
Just shake your boots out, but
Yeah. So. This is actually Guadalupe Mountains National Park. This is where I went for my service vacation. That's called McKittrick Canyon. A lot of great hiking there too. It was just, we did service, I mean, we helped the National Park Service. We did trail repair, we did cleanup, we did, so, I mean, if anybody's ever interested in doing something like that, it's really a great program that's offered by the Sierra Club. But you have to pay to play though. You pay them to go to work. And so, this was actually my first Sierra Club service vacation, and it couldn't have been a better one. I mean, it was just for me to get started. It was just like, this is really amazing, and so.
Do they give you any benefits or lodging or food or anything as part of
Yeah, there was an old, really nice house, big house, right in the park that the Park Service has taken over, and it was completely furnished with, like, you know, kitchen and bath, and there was like room inside for, you know, 24 people, plus they had a lot of parking on the outside for people to, so yeah, they provided, and then they provided the food, and part of that was everybody had KP duty one day of the week. So one day, I mean, 3 or 4 days you go out and work, then one day you got KP duty. So fixing breakfast, fixing lunch. Well, lunches were actually sack lunches. They took it with you. And then fixing dinner. So. Permian Reef Trail. This was another one of my absolute favorite hikes. That's the parking lot there.
Oh, wow.
And you can see how the switch backs up and down.
Narrow that is.
And there's a view from the top. It was really, I mean, I just absolutely loved that. I mean, it's just the sheer drop off here, and you can just see, I don't know how many miles. But once you're on top, it's relatively flat, and there's a nice little copse where I sat and had my lunch, and the trail runs all the way to the New Mexico border, and there's a like a fence where it meets New Mexico,
Oh, wow.
and there's this little turnstile out in the middle of nowhere to get from New Mexico from Texas to New Mexico and back, and so.
What's
But
the
yeah.
name of that trail?
Permian Reef. Permian Reef, it's the largest. Part of the reason that, we're kind of doing the Guadalupes here too, part of the reason that Guadalupe National Park was established is because the Permian Reef is one of the largest Permian fossil bed areas in the world. And so they preserved this whole area because of the fossils, and I mean, it's from the Permian, again, like I said, when it was that sea, the big inland sea, this has all been uplifted since then. And when you're walking along this trail, you can just see all the like fossils in the rock and stuff. It's really, really cool. And so.
The fossils would be shells, or
Pardon?
would the fossils be shells?
Shells and like
Little
crinoids and yeah.
nature's petroglyphs.
Yeah, I like that. Nature's petroglyphs, yeah. So. And just north of Guadalupe National Park is Carlsbad Caverns. And that's, again, it's part of the Carlsbad Caverns are part of that whole Permian Reef area. And so that, these are wet caverns as opposed to dry caverns. And so that's why you get the stalactites and the stalagmites and and that's really all I have. So anybody have any questions?